think fastball command, like most pitchers. I think that slider, slurve, he's got it staying the strike longer and has that depth late. So I think for me, obviously that's probably a little bit mechanics related. I think the velocity early on in the game has ticked up than it was as well. Hasn't been feeling his way into the game, which is a good thing.
It seemed like during that stretch where he wasn't going good, the last inning he pitched was when he was getting hurt. Has he made any adjustments when he went 2 starts ago, and then he pitched into the 6th in the last start?
No, I think it's just, I think if you go back to those starts, the inning started off well, and then he ended up making a bad pitch. So whether it's in the 6th or the 7th or the 1st, I don't think he was taxed or anything like that. He just didn't execute a pitch. Yeah, Julio's very mindful of, first time through, second time through, third time through, and sequencing and all that stuff. So for me, it's just kind of turn him loose and see how he's throwing the baseball.
How's Syndergaard today? Has he thrown yet? Have you seen it?
He did throw a pen. I didn't get to see it. Saw pictures of it. Seemed okay, the finger afterward. I'll circle up with the training staff after on the final decision as far as Monday.
Do you know how many pitches he threw?
I don't. But I'm assuming getting ready for a start, it's got to be, 30, 35 pitches.
Just considering that he's kind of barely pitched the last couple of weeks, how much does that kind of factor with him not having to go on Monday?
No. I think as far as the build-up, I think that I'm not concerned about that. Noah can throw all day long. I think the efficiency or the effectiveness, the quality of pitches, I think is something that we certainly got to be mindful of. But I think the build-up, it hasn't been long enough that we're concerned about that.
Dave, with the finger like that, does the problems come up like right after he pitches, or does it kind of come up at any time? Like, what are you sort of looking for there?
Well, given from his 3 starts prior to this last one, it hasn't been an issue because we derma bonded up and he's throwing with the cover. The last start, we thought we were out of the woods with it. We didn't derma bond it, and that's when it blew up. So I think if we put the derma bond on like we did today, the finger came out just fine.
When he was bleeding in Milwaukee, is that a spot where you can't put the derma bond on at that point?
It just doesn't, because it takes time for it to take. When you're in the middle of a big league ball game, you just don't have enough time.
Did you check with Major League Baseball to make sure that was okay before?
We did.
So it almost has to cure on his
it
finger
does.
for
That's
a while.
Right. Yes, thank you. Yes, it has to cure. So,
That's why she's a writer.
that's why she's smarter than we are. That's right. Much better vocabulary.
Dave, how come you guys haven't made a bigger deal of this couple Padres series and playing these guys? It's probably something that maybe other teams would kind of find some extra motivation in it. What is it about this group, or just the reason that you guys have kind of downplayed it as much as you have the last couple of weeks?
There's a lot of keys to success. I think one of them is putting more of your emphasis on your own ball club and not being distracted by other variables, other factors, other teams. And I think for me, it's been a hallmark of all of our ball clubs, and this year is no different.
Have you felt that the last couple of weeks, just with the way you guys are tying together game prep, having different guys clicking, does this run kind of feel similar to where you've been the last few years?
We're going to pour everything into this game tonight and do the same thing tomorrow, and then get ready for the Cardinals. And that's just, or the Twins, sorry. I just think that it's certainly, I appreciate it as far as it's good for the game, it's good for all of us. But for us to think about getting too high for a particular team, that lends itself to letdowns later. And there's a reason why there's 162 on the schedule. So I just don't think that we just kind of give into that.
I think for people who might not be as familiar or here every day, how would you explain like just how difficult it is what Mookie Betts is doing to be a right fielder and just play shortstop in a Major League Baseball game for you?
Yeah, this is something that's uncharted territory, really, for me. To see somebody going from the outfield, the best at his position in the game, and to come up and play an above-average shortstop in a major league game in a big series. I just marvel at how he doesn't get anxious or nervous, taking this on. He just has a way of just embracing it. But I don't think that people can really appreciate how difficult this is. I really don't.
Is it more like a mental load, just considering all the extra responsibilities, playing short, being involved more with every pitch?
You would think. But for him, he stands by just getting out there is like a day off. But he's understands where to be on the field when the ball's hit. He plays every pitch. He gets off on the ball. So right now he's taking grounders to short. He looks like an infielder. So that's something that I just marvel at.
Something Freddie said before, like, is that when he 17, when he had to play third base, just out of necessity, like you adapted to it fine, but his bat kind of suffered. Why do you think it is that Mookie's bat kind of hasn't sort of taken that dip when on days when he's at shortstop?
I think that Mookie, like a lot of great players, have the ability to compartmentalize. And Mookie would never say that playing a different position would affect him in the batter's box. Or the shadows affected a particular outcome of an at-bat. He just doesn't make excuses, where Freddie, not that he makes excuses, but he was honest saying that playing third base took a toll on his offense because of the stress of playing a different position. But Mookie really does a good job of, regardless of where I play, I'm going to pour myself into that, and it's not going to affect my hitting.
Mookie's his numbers when he's playing infield are a lot better. Is there a positive effect there, do you think, or is it just a small sample?
It's a small sample, but if you ask Mookie, he thinks that there's a correlation.
Well, it seems like there are so many aspects of this game that seem to come easily for him. I'm wondering if just maybe like the challenge of something like that gets him to dial in and brings him to.
I think so. I think that great players are always looking for a challenge, whether it's a contract, whether it's to play for the Hall of Fame, whether it's for Mookie in this particular case, a challenge to play a different position. Knowing that he's already dominated right field and can do that on a regular basis, but there's something that sort of keeps his interest, and that's a good thing for all of us.
Dave, I know he takes grounders there and
every day.
Came up as a second baseman and all that, but how much did the way he handled his first real opportunity there convince you that this was something that he could really do?
That was a big test for me. I've said it before, is Clayton gave us the okay, and so if he can play behind Clayton on a field he never took grounders at in Wrigley, I trust him anywhere with anyone.
Do you think there could be an institutional stubbornness around this, where on other teams maybe the second best shortstop is the starting outfielder, but teams are so reticent to say, all right, our starting shortstop's hurt, let's pull this guy in from the outfield? Could there be other guys that are doing this and we just don't know because teams aren't open to it?
Could there be? Possibly. I think to do what he does so seamlessly, I would say no. There's guys that can go from the dirt to the grass. Kike Hernandez is as good as I've ever seen. But to go from out there to play there, it'd be a short list.
Dave, when Syndergaard was throwing his bullpen, Mark Pryor was standing in against him. He was standing in both lefty and righty. I know. Have you ever switch hit, stood in like that, and did it come natural to you? You're just taking pitches, but
you're taking pitches. I don't like standing in there right-handed for fear of the pitcher losing the ball arm side. But Mark, he does it just to kind of make sure you give that pitcher a look.
Sure.
So he does that all the time. He's more used to it than I am.
I just wonder if there's an instinct thing. It would be hard to
bail.
train yourself.
Oh yeah. To not bail. Yeah.
How hampered has Muncy been with this sickness that he's been battling?
He's been scuffling. I just, for me, it was more of know you're scuffling, but we need you out there. We need you to post, be a presence in the lineup. So I think physically he's better. There's this chest cough that he can't get past, but he's doing all right. He's hanging in there.